have to go and keep your hands, put your hands together because you haven't. For our last comedian of the night, guys, she's been here last time, she was great. And I welcome her back, Lara Ricote,
My name is Lara Ricote. Thanks so much for being here. I know what you're all thinking. Where are this little boy's parents? Did he get permission to be here? But I did. I didn't actually get permission to be here last time, and it didn't work out so well because I talked about my mom. I talked about her, I talked about how she's Mexican, how when she came to drop me off here, I found out that she loves weed, and that she was a pothead. I made a couple of jokes about my mother, and I put it up on YouTube because I had to send it to some comedy guy, and then the next morning I found out that my mom, she Googled me like constantly. She had seen it, and she sent me like this really angry voice note, like my Mexican mom. She's like, Lara, ¿qué te pasa? ¿Qué te pasa? Contándole a todo el mundo. She's like telling everybody that your mom is a head pot. Are you kidding me? And I was like, Mom, what the fuck? Obviously you have to talk about this next time. You just went and called yourself a head pot, played yourself. I just went to visit them, my dad and my head pot, and it was such a good time in Miami. So I went there, and my parents just moved to a 2-bedroom apartment, which meant that me and my 2 sisters, we had to sleep in a one bed. In a bed the entire time for 2 weeks, and it was fine except that the bed is a double bed, and that if you look up the description it says it's made for 1 large adult or 2 small adults, and my sisters just on their own are 2 large, very large adults. Like my sisters are these 2 tall, blonde, beautiful women who, them being beautiful and blonde isn't a part of the bed issue, but they're just like these 2 beautiful blonde women who obviously came out of my mom's vagina, and I'm like the one that we're like not so sure about. I'm like the small brown one, who like kind of like that little piece of poop. Like you don't want to go like all the way to the bathroom for it, but like you gotta, because it has to come out, and you go, and then you're like, am I gonna waste the flush on this? But you gotta, because people will know if you left it. You know, people will know. So you do. That's kind of what like my birth was like. And so yeah, I did just stay. I did a lot of bonding with my sisters during the day as well. And we were talking about the way that we were punished when we were little, like reminiscing. And we remembered that my mom, my older sister and I, we used to fight a lot. We were really aggressive to each other. And my mom, when we'd get really aggressive, she'd like grab her belt, and she wouldn't whip us with it, but she'd make us hug. So me and my sister, like she'd make us hug, and then she'd wrap the belt around us, and she'd start the timer for 30 minutes, and she'd look at us. She'd just like sit there and look at us, and we'd be like, for 30 minutes. Then when 30 minutes were up, she'd be like, Gala, kiss Lara, and my sister would be like, she'd be like, Lara, kiss Gala. I'd be like, just the most pissed off kid you could ever imagine. Like I was like throwing like a little tooth in there, trying to get like a stab at her cheek. I'd be like, just like pissed as fuck, and it sucked. It was like the worst thing ever, and I don't think that like the belt hug was ever gonna get us to friendship. Like that belt hug was the worst. But what did make us become friends like a little bit later was that we both bonded a lot over the fact that we're both hard of hearing. So like we both have like DNA deficiency to fuck us up a little bit, just keep us on the edge of our seat at all times. And so yeah, we both have hearing aids on both ears, and they're kind of like little glasses for your ears, like a little. Both. And that meant that we had like something in common to talk about. And my parents, they made it like seem like the coolest shit ever. Like just like when they gave us our hearing aids when we were little, they were like these little robots that make you hear more than anyone. And we were like, ooh, okay, tell us more. Where they're like, just like put them on, like you hear more than anyone in the entire room. We're like, all right, so I got a little cocky about it. Like I was like, all right, like I'm a fucking spy. And so like I would go to school and I would get there and I'd be like, Lara Ricote, at your service. I am the eyes and the ears of the school. I will be standing over here. Anything you need and don't hear, just ask me, okay? I do it free of charge for you guys. And I would retreat into my corner. And obviously I was in primary school and that was pretty fucking weird. So there was some bullies, you know, as followed. And they'd like kick us down. They'd be like, Deafy. Be like, what? Be like, Deafy. Be like, what? I'd be like, just enunciate or write it down on a paper. I obviously don't know what the fuck you're saying, so you write it down on paper. They like hand us the paper, you read it, be like, Deafy. You'd be like, oh, fuck. Like, that's kind of fucking mean and stupid to like ask your bully to tell you what he thinks about you in print. But it hasn't been bad because my family was always able to like afford hearing aids. Was really good for. Thank you, parents. And so the only thing that kind of sucked was that it did make me talk a little bit weird, like the way that I talk. And I'm not from Spain, but people constantly ask me if I am. And not that Spanish people talk like people with hearing deficiencies, but just people are constantly asking me. I'm just like putting stuff together. And so yeah, I'm not from there, but sometimes people are like, Lara, are you from Spain? I'm like, yeah, because what am I going to do, tell you the whole Deafy story? That's for my stand-up. I'm obviously not going to do that. So what people would ask me to is like if I had a retainer on, and so when I was in school, I would just like take a paper clip and unfold it and like put it in my mouth like a little metal line, like have a choking hazard in there at all times. And but when I wasn't in school and people would ask me, I'd just be like, I'm just a little deaf. Be like, what? Sorry? Just a little on the deaf side, just some deaf. Sorry, excuse me. What is just deaf? Just a little hard of hearing. Just some hard. Not can't hear that well. Just can't hear so much. Like oh, like what? And I have to explain the link, you know, because like what's the link between talking weird and like being hard of hearing? You guys thought you came to comedy night. This is disability awareness night. This is a 5-year-old person. We're gonna pass the hat around so the proceeds go directly to me. Thanks so much. I would have to like explain the link between like talking weird and like being hard of hearing, because you know how deaf people they talk strangely, and it's because they can't hear, so they try to like make it out, you know. And so I'm doing that. I'm trying to make it out, and like I can't hear the S's, so those are ones that I just missed. So clearly, those are ones that I missed. And so people are like, so you can't hear this? No, no, I really can't. Like, what about? And then to fuck around, I'm like, what? That's the S? That's the S? And they're like, really? And I'm like, no, motherfucker, I just told you that that's the one thing that I cannot hear. Like, that is the one thing I just miss. But it's because hearing aids aren't normalized. Like, people with hearing deficiencies, like, people don't know them. Even though, U.S. statistics, 1 out of every 8 people have, like, some type of hearing deficiency. So that means that in this room, there's about, like, 12 of you who have no idea what the fuck I'm saying. And you're just, like, laughing, nodding along, like this guy. He literally hadn't even looked up at me. He didn't even know I was here. Don't worry, man, I feel you. It's fine. Don't make fun of him, though. I will tie my belt around you both. That's crazy that she honestly did that. She really did do that. Well, I'll just leave you guys with like a little story that I have that my sister told me on the way here, and I cracked up about it. She lives in LA, and she lives with her best friend, that's her roommate, and he was going on this Tinder date, and he was going with this girl that he thought maybe was like gonna be a little bit weird. And so he told her, they like made an escape plan. You know how sometimes like you'll go for it, but like you know it could be like a little bit like on the weird side, then you show up and it's like Lara Ricote at your service, and you're like, oh fuck, like I don't want to be here anymore. And so they made up an escape plan. He said that if he'd call her, like left a missed call, that she would call him back and then like I don't know, say some shit that happened to her or whatever. And so then she got the missed call, and she called back, and she's like, he's like, Gala, what's going on? She's like, Daniel, I just cut off my nipple. Daniel, I just cut off my nipple. It's in my hand right now. It's moving. I don't know what to do. You gotta get here now. And I imagine Daniel just like, what the, Gala? She's like, it's in my hand right now. It's just in my nipple. I just don't know what to do. The nipple's in my hand. And Daniel like has to be like looking at his date, just being like, it's just like I gotta go. I just and I just loved her for it. I just thought it was the best thing ever. I was just really proud to be your sister, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So that's my set. Thank you so much, guys.